Today's episode of Horror Movie Talk is brought to you by Esmeralda's Discount Denture Clinic. If you're a woman of a certain age and suffer from tooth loss, but don't have your hands on the money for those pristine, pearly white, form-fitted dentures, well, there's an easy and affordable way to get your bite back. Here at Esmeralda's Discount Denture Center, we pride ourselves on providing you affordable dentures that match your smile of the past. Stop by Esmeralda's Discount Denture Center under the I-5 overpass on 78th Street and bring all your lost or rotten teeth to get a quote. Mention Horror Movie Talk to get a free curse on your enemy. Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk.
An opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. Go, 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 go.
The stroll through the scraggly woods. He had no face! Horror!
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
New theatrical releases always get priority.
But we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible.
Wow, that didn't sound good.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Horror Movie Talk. Your panel of expert hosts are Bryce and David.
Yo, how you guys doing today? I'm doing fabulous.
We're recording this in the afternoon, and it's kind of throwing off my mojo because we just had lunch, and all my blood is in my stomach now.
Right. Well, I mean, why is that? Because we've been preparing for the Kiggins Cult of Horror shows. We have a whole series of shows that we're going to be doing, live shows.
We're going to be screening some great horror movies at the Kiggins Theater in Vancouver, Washington, where we live. So if you're local to Portland or Vancouver or are willing to drive or travel to the area,
it's really important that you do so, because here's our list of dates that we got going up so far. We got on March 25th, we got our first show of The Exorcist. On April 22nd, we have our second show, where we will be screening The Burbs. You know The Burbs with Tom Hanks. On May 27th, we have The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. You know the one. And finally, in June, on the 24th, we have a screening of, that's right, Hereditary. So big names, big movies, big energy, big dicks.
big cult energy.
Big cult energy.
So yeah, we've been working on that this morning and dialing in, and we're getting really excited about it.
Really excited to see you.
Horror!
If you're brand new to the show, what you got to know is that we've got a great show today.
Oh, this is going to be the best.
We're going to be reviewing Drag Me to Hell, which was voted on by our patrons for the month of, what is this, February? And was really happy to watch this one. You should know that we post new episodes every Wednesday, so please subscribe and leave a review. If you want to call us and leave us a voicemail, you may hear yourself on a future episode. Like this one.
He's through.
682-253-4468 is the number to call. We score. So first we give a brief review and our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being good.
Yeah.
That's how that works. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can always pause the show and come back to it later. Later, we'll be doing taglines. Right, David?
Yep, I have them.
Awesome.
Don't come at me with
I'm
that
just
shade.
saying.
Look at you.
I'm just saying.
I'm not you.
And we'll be checking our voicemail on horror movie Whooores. So let's hop in. Again, our patrons voted for this one. We watched Drag Me to Hell, and Sam Raimi knows how to make a horror movie, no matter what the rating.
What do you mean?
Here is the trailer.
Mr. Jacks, I was wondering if you'd made any decision regarding the assistant manager's position.
It's between Stu and yourself.
Stu Rubin, the new guy?
Stu's someone who's not afraid to make the tough decisions.
I'm perfectly capable of making the tough decisions.
I'll let you know as soon as I decide, okay?
Will you help me? Please.
Okay. We have an elderly woman asking for an extension on her mortgage payment. We would have to throw her out of her house.
We've already granted her 2 extensions. It's a tough decision. Your call.
But another extension is out of the question.
Where will I live?
I'm really sorry.
Never have I begged for anything, but now I humble myself
Mrs.
before
Dennis,
you.
please.
I beg you.
Please let go. Please let go. Security!
You shame me. Soon it will be you who comes begging to me.
Someone has cursed you. He's the Lamia, the most feared of all demons. For the first 3 days, the spirit torments its victims. After that, it will come to take you.
Take me where?
To burn in hell for eternity.
It's coming for me.
Please listen to me. There's nothing coming for you.
How do I get rid of this?
welcome. You can give the curse away.
Drag me to hell.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and do it. We're just sitting here reminiscing about an old boss.
Oh, yeah. What a hoot.
What a fun time.
Yeah.
Just go to him and be like,
There's nothing like imagining just the ultimate fuck you to a former employer. Anyways, Drag Me to Hell is available for rent in all the places. Drag Me to Hell, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Alison Lohman and the Mac guy, follows Christine Brown as she suffers the consequences of a gypsy curse. She is cursed because she denies an old, creepy woman a bank loan.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. You hear me?
No, it was an old lady.
you hear me?
Through the curse, she is tormented by an evil demon for 3 days and is told if the curse does not break, she will be dragged to hell to live all eternity with Hitler and unbaptized dead babies. Ooh. So the moral to the story is give creepy old ladies what they want. It's very simple.
Yeah, I kind of love this movie because it's kind of a vibe of sometimes shit's just shitty, dude.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, you can do kind of everything right, but if you fuck up a little bit, you're just hosed. Guess what?
Right.
Bye. So, bye. Right. Sorry. Bye.
Yeah, we'll get into it in the spoilers and like what the cause of all of it is isn't necessarily what you'd expect.
It's just life just sucks sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Suck it up. Sucks to suck, buddy.
Okay, this movie is PG-13, and you'll be so distracted by your disgust to even notice that no one says fuck. I think this is the best PG-13 horror movie ever made.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. This is impressive in so many different ways. In terms of...
This is one of those movies where it's like, I could see, like, even with some of the, cursing and some of the sexual content not in it, I could still see those conservative ratings boards being like, no, it feels like an R, though.
Right. Yeah, it's very impressive that they were able to get this down to PG-13. And
I think it was given an R, and then they took out some scenes with, like, gratuitous blood in it, which is funny because there's still, like, kind of gratuitous blood, like when her nose bleeds.
Right.
But they took out enough to where, I think that's, like, kind of where it is, like, you go too far on purpose and then draw it back, and they're like, okay, we will deign you with the PG-13.
This is definitely the scariest PG-13 that exists. No, that's not true. The Ring exists.
Yeah.
The Ring is scarier than this. But this is, I mean, right there. Right there with it.
Sam Raimi's kinetic and unhinged directing style throttles you through the plot with very little fluff. This film really hits the sweet spot for me. The characters are fleshed out, the special effects are viscerally over the top, and there's a subtle ribbon of humor strung throughout. just really.
It's not subtle.
It's not subtle, but there's enough
ropey loads of humor.
Well, there's like a certain like campy, over the top. I don't know. It's like this real sweet zone where it's not like we're purposefully making it funny. There's just enough like kind of barely ridiculous things and callbacks that happen to where you know what they're doing with it that makes it really fun. So I mean that's my major takeaway. It's a really fun film to watch. The dramatic irony, the well-timed callbacks, and the undercurrent of campy energy kept me engaged throughout. And it's really indicative of a lot of Sam Raimi's early films. So yeah. I read on the trivia on IMDb that he wrote this right after Army of Darkness, which was just a little over a decade before this one came out. So they wrote it and then just put it on the shelf for a while. And it really has similar energy to like Evil Dead 2.
Army of Darkness is, I mean, all the Evil Deads are, I mean, just fabulous for me. Army of Darkness, though, is like formative, like truly like one of the formative movies for me. And this
still haven't seen it.
Wow. This is a similar feeling sort of movie, although in a totally different lane and done with so much more money.
Yeah, it's pretty high production value. It's cost $30 million to make and got back $90 million.
Whew, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't remember enough about returns to tell you if that's good or not. But
it's pretty good. I mean, yeah it's enough. That's enough for any of the Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Streets. Like,
right.
They went by with less than that many times.
Right. So, definitely a highly recommended movie if you haven't seen it. I don't know. Kind of weird to score because doesn't feel like it's the most important movie. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a perfect movie, but it's very, very enjoyable to the point where I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, like, I've seen this movie a couple times. The first time I just fell in love with it. I went to see it in theaters with my now wife and it was a blast. It was such a blast. It was it's so Raimi. Like, it's so Raimi.
That's So Raimi is a Nickelodeon show that I used to love.
Yeah, same here. And it just reminds me of what an influential guy Raimi is, like, to other directors. Like, my go-to is always like, oh, this is Peter Jackson too. Like, Peter Jackson's, a lot of his inspiration, I feel like, especially for his early movies, came directly from Raimi and the stuff that Raimi did. And this is like so based Raimi. Like, it's just so perfectly perfect.
Yeah, he was definitely a really important director in his cohort of, colleagues, to where, I know Coen Brothers got inspired by him. Like, a lot of directors got inspired by the Evil Dead movies just because they were so cheap. And it was such a strong style that they're like, oh, we can be artistic while making a genre movie on the cheap,
right? And
still get like respect and accolades and an audience,
Yeah, Raimi, I feel, is one of these guys who, for me, he can do just no wrong. There's nothing he can put his hands on that I won't be at least like pretty good.
Well, Spider-Man 3, but that's the exception to the rule.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. It's especially if you compare it to some of the, the cookie cutter Marvel movies. Okay, who cares? Like, I'll take Spider-Man 3 over a lot of those cookie cutter movies. But anywho, I enjoy, like, rewatchability. I've seen this probably 4 or 5 times in the decade or so that has been out, and I'd put it right around an 8 or a 9. It didn't have my full attention on this watch through just because I just know every beat of this movie now, and it's fun, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, so it was pretty effective for me. I tried watching it with Erin, and like within the first couple minutes, she's like, "Yeah, not
really
into it."
Really?
Just because it was too much for her. Like, it goes pretty hard into the paint with the visceral. I mean, once you get to, I mean, even before the parking lot scene, she was like, "Yeah, I don't know."
What happens before the parking lot scene? Oh, the lady's taking out her dentures and
yeah.
So
it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely another thing you should do is check out nightchannels.com. There's a website called nightchannels.com, and if you go there, you'll find a repository of some awesome horror-themed, metal-themed, occult-themed t-shirts and hoodies, and they're all affordably priced with designs that you're not going to find anywhere else. We tell you to take the Night Channels Challenge, go to nightchannels.com and just browse, and you're going to find something that you like. And to be honest, like, we know that there's some of you that haven't gone on there yet and taken the Night Channels Challenge, and we challenge you to challenge yourself to take the Night Channels Challenge.
And not only that, I mean, listen, Night Channels has been a steadfast sponsor of the show for over a year. Even if you've been there, even if you've bought a couple shirts, like, they help us out. And so I would implore you, head on back, take a look at their new offerings, because they have a ton. They're constantly adding new stuff on there, and get yourself a treat with that code HMT at checkout. Get you 13% off your order, and you help out. You get something cool to wear, and it helps support the show. It helps them justify signing up for another month.
Yes, and if you want to support the show directly and not through a sponsor, you can go to patreon.com and sign up to be a patron. The perks start out as low as, the lowest it goes, and up to the highest highs.
Very nice. Impressive.
I'm not fading, David.
Very nice.
I'm still here. So, like we said, this was voted by the patron. So if you want to give your input and kind of politicize the selection of these movies, you can campaign for your pick among the other patrons at a certain tier.
I don't want to educate you too much, but I will say this. If you approach one of our social media accounts, which I implore you to do, please hit us up. Tell us how you're feeling, and we will be happy to have a chat. But if you hit us up and you're like, have you guys seen XYZ movie? You should totally review it. You should just know that in my head I go, they don't listen to what I'm saying.
Yep.
They don't know, because there's no way I'm going to do that, because there's 100 people just like you every month that are like,
there used to be.
Did you see? You should review. And it's not that I don't love it. It's that I just go, you're just not good at listening.
Right. Even so, here's the thing. Like, we used to have a list. When anyone ever said that, we were like, oh yeah, we'll put it on the list. We'll put it in the
do
docket.
what the listeners want.
And we only have 52 episodes a year, and a lot of new releases come out every year.
And death is just knocking on our door.
Even our patrons, like our earliest patrons, would make requests, and they're still like, Jessica asked for Puka forever ago.
Still haven't gotten a Puka.
It's still
on that list.
I'm
sorry,
so
Jessica.
At this point, if you say like, oh, you guys should review this, it's just white noise at this point.
Yeah, so unless you're a patron
at
the $15 tier, and then you get to vote, suggest and vote on a movie every month.
Yeah. Also, if you are tired of hearing us talk about these ways to extract money from you, that's another way. If you pay for it, you won't hear these advertisements. You'll get an early release, and we take the ads out.
Take the ads right out, baby.
But it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
He's doing the thing with his fingers.
$6.66 gets you no ads, after shows, and early access to all podcasts. So hit us up.
In further attempts to extract money, we have a Horror Movie Talk shop where you can buy logo tees and our stickers.
Look, you keep saying extract money, but this is a free show that we produce for free in our free time every week for the past almost 4 years now. And I am tired, Bryce.
All I see our audience is a bunch of rubes.
Can you set that straight, please? I don't want that lingering in the air. They can't see your face.
I'm just kidding. We don't. If you don't spend any money on Horror Movie Talk, we're still going to be putting it out. It's fine.
It's just that you're stealing.
We just love the people that give us money more.
A little bit more.
A little. Well, a lot more.
Well, yeah. I didn't want to be super blunt about it.
We live in a capitalist society. This is a society, David.
I know where we don't. Why don't you tell me where we live? Why don't
Vietnam War never started?
Have you ever been to Da Nang with a shorn chimp? And I fought in the arena of battle.
That was our take on
Jesse Ventura.
Will Sasso's Jesse Ventura. Check it out on YouTube if you want. Also, we love our artist, Dustin Goebel. He's a professional artist who fucks hard. He also takes commissions for artwork from HMT fans. So hit him up at Instagram at dgoebel00. That's at DGOEBEL00. Let's get into spoilers.
Let's do it.
Let's get a moving along. Spoilers!
You know, this movie had a lot of tastes. A little taste.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gumming going on. Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
A lot of flavor in those dentures, I'm sure. Just like...
Oof. Oh. You know, I want to start this off by maybe enlightening our uneducated American audience to what a gypsy really is about.
Well, first of all, I don't think that's the correct terminology. I think it's Roma.
This is now you're tapping into where I'm going to with this. No one who knows gypsies or gypsy culture is going to stand up for them or pronounce that you need to call them Roma instead of gypsies. And this is a universal truth across the board. If you're intimately familiar with gypsies in your culture, you go, fuck the gypsies.
David, we got a lot of gypsy listeners that you're going to be alienating when you say
and
this.
I'm saying fuck them. I'm just, look, they know who they are.
I did a little research because I was like, how I got in a little hot water for previous, like, semi-racial statements.
Yeah. Maybe,
and so,
maybe that was good. Maybe that was a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good thing. It's a learning experience. So I was like, maybe I should do some due diligence on the gypsies. Sorry, the Romani people. And it's one of those things that's kind of telling, and it's like a wide swath of people.
It's a bad culture.
I'm sure not all gypsies are bad.
No, the culture is bad.
But when you read the history, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like a nomadic culture. And, they basically got deported from every single Western country at some point. And, just specifically that group, they're like, not these people. We're not talking about just there's tragic, they're wrapped up in the tragic Holocaust in Germany too. But pretty much everyone was fed up with gypsies.
Well before that.
Oh,
yes. And
I also learned that the fact that they're called gypsies is that it was misunderstood. They were assumed that they're from Egypt.
Yeah, no, they're not. And
they're from kind of an Indo-Indian, Indo-European, Upper India place.
Listen, if you're intimately familiar with gypsy culture and would like to set us straight, you can call us. You can make. I don't care how you get a hold of us. Just call us at 682-253-4468 and let us know. Just share some stories. I would be so interested to hear these stories.
I assume we're going to get plenty of voicemails of just elderly women that goes, "I curse you."
Oh my God.
I curse you.
Oh my God.
Lamia.
Oh no. I hope not.
Yeah.
I really hope that's.
You're calling it upon yourself. I'm trying to be respectful.
You're like a big dirty raccoon, David.
I'm sorry.
I mean, they were deported from every single country in Europe because everyone was racist.
Right. Except that they're not a race, they're a culture.
Everyone was xenophobic.
David.
Well, my point is, call us at 682-253-4468. Let us know how you feel about gypsies and why we can all just feel okay about bagging on them.
Yeah, or the Roma people.
Or the Roma people.
I also learned that, like, there's no consistent, like, some of them will be offended by Roma, some of them
That's
will be
by
offended
design.
by gypsies.
Yeah, that's all by design.
I'll tell you what, though, this has no correlation with anything probably, but I'm sure a lot of, like, internationally, if you experience pickpockets, they're probably going to have a gypsy accent, you know.
Wow, I've never been so offended my whole life. Thanks.
Well, have you ever been pickpocketed?
No, actually, I had a few attempts when I first went to Las Vegas when I was
Las Vegas
18,
wow.
And there'd just be a cutie walking by me, and then she would just viciously grope my ass, just like really grabbing into the meat, you know, with the tentacle. And I was like, "Ooh, I like that." Ooh, and then I realized what it was about. And I was, "Get off of me, gypsy!" And and then I was started. Ever since then, without fail, my wallet goes in my front pocket. Anything important to me goes in my front pocket.
Yeah, my dad got pickpocketed so many times on international travel that there's no international place that I've gone where there's a significant amount of people that I don't constantly have a finger on my wallet. Yeah. Like, my finger immediately goes to my wallet if I'm walking through a crowd of people.
A lot of times the other thing I'll do if I'm traveling light is I'll just take my roll of cash and I'll just wrap it around my dick. Put the rubber band around that.
They can still get that.
I hope so. That's what I'm aiming for. You know, if I'm going to be paying, you might as well be touching it.
Right.
Get off of me, gypsies.
Okay.
Ew.
We're going to get
David.
It'd be ironic if this is what gets us canceled.
You can't cancel nobodies. We're nobody. You know how great it would be if someone tried to cancel us?
Do you know how powerful a position it is to be and, you know, ranked as the number 50-ish movie review podcast?
It's pretty
in the
impressive.
U.S.
Yeah, I know.
We come from a position of privilege.
I beg you to try and cancel us because the amount of media attention that we would get would be off the charts.
Right.
I'm a big fan. Big fan of big media attention because right now we have none. So some would be a nice change of pace.
Right.
So,
okay, so first bullet point, another super sensitive thing. It always seems that stuff is always happening to Mexicans in these supernatural movies.
Yeah,
it always starts with them.
You mean Latinx?
Latinx.
Latinx. Sorry.
People. They're just like, you know, crap. I got possessed again.
Constantine. He's just like a puppet for the spirit destiny.
Yeah. There's this one, I think probably La Llorona.
Oh, definitely. La Llorona.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, all these, you know. Okay, I'm going to stop myself. I'll really get in trouble if I say that because I'll be taken seriously. So
loopy.
It starts out with, you know, your generic cursed Mexican family, and he gets dragged to hell. So we know the stakes.
Poor kid.
You can get dragged to hell by a demon.
What was his name? I can't remember.
I don't know. Let's say
Juan.
Pedro.
I think it was Juan or Pedro. I remember it being like, is that the name for John? So I think it was Juan.
We're introduced to Christine. She's, you know, a young lady that's up and comer in the bank industry. She's up for promotion to this, you know, executive role and
branch assistant manager.
Yeah, assistant to the regional manager. And there's a douchebag coworker that's also up for the position. That's like I
think he's a comedian in real life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Reggie Lee. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a comedian. I'll look that up.
He was pretty great. And so the one thing, it was in the trailer. The one thing that her boss says is like, he makes the tough calls, and if you want to be part of big bank, you got to make those tough calls. Just extract all empathy from your soul and submit to capitalism.
Right.
And sacrifice all of your ethics so that we can make more money. That's how it works.
Yeah. He's a, just FYI, Reggie Lee is a Philippine-American film and television actor. It doesn't appear that he does much in the way of comedy, but he has a very comedic timing and sensibility to his delivery. Did you know Alison Lohman retired after this movie? She literally just announced retirement and did a few small little indie things on the side.
Yeah, I was curious because Aaron was like, she looks familiar. And I looked at IMDb and it's like, nope, she's not. She's not in anything.
She was big following this. Like, this was a big deal. She was also in Big Fish. Yeah, she was kind of big in the early to mid 2000s, and she was kind of on her way up. But yeah, she literally announced her retirement following this. She was in Beowulf. Yeah, and then after with Drag Me to Hell, she got proposed to, and then she was like, I'm retiring from acting. I was like, wow, because she's great. She's like, so just she gets it. She gets this role completely.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great in it. So almost immediately after this interchange between her and her boss happens, this old Romani woman?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think she's age.
She's named Mrs. Ganoush.
Aged.
And this came out when? 2009?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was right after the banking collapse, right?
Yeah. Oh, touche.
So very timely. Yeah. This woman comes in asking for an extension on her loan. She's going to get foreclosed on for her home, and she's, on a
fixed income. She lost vision in her eye, which is terrifying.
Health problems. And she's got the most rotten dentures I've ever seen. Mostly when people get dentures, they like go for the, ideal smile. Not this woman. She's like, make them rotten. Make them like rotten, crooked, and yellow and sharp.
She's like, fuck my shit up.
Yeah.
Just do it.
And the dentist is like, but okay.
She's and then the dentist realized you don't question a gypsy. She can put a curse on you.
The old gypsy woman, she's got a personal brand she's working with. Like, people know her for her teeth.
Right.
So
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You gotta stay true to yourself.
So Christine takes it to her boss, and he's like, yeah, it's a tough call to make. One of those tough calls we were talking about. I'll leave it up to you. And Christine is like, do I have a soul or do I want a promotion? As many of us have done in our lives.
As we've all done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've sold my soul so many times.
And she said, no. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. And see if I can find it.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. You hear me?
So, and then she begs on her knees.
Do you want to clap for that? I don't know.
No, that's what I'll find. She begs on her knees for Christine to give her an extension.
Right.
And then she slips and falls because Christine is backing away.
I was trying to work out the exact slip up that Christine made.
Yeah, this is great because you assume she's going to get cursed because the woman finds out that it was her call and she chose to not give her the bank loan. But all she hears is like, sorry, my boss said no, that's another thing in retail, which is like, yeah, take no responsibility if you're in customer service.
Hell no.
And, but no, she cursed her because she felt shamed by Christine because she fell down and people were looking at her.
I think the moment that Christine fucked up was when she called security and made it a big deal.
Right.
When she was like, security. I think that was the straw that broke this gypsy's back.
Right.
Which is a fitting analogy because camels are also nomadic.
Correct.
Although this gypsy was not. She had a she had a house that she was trying to keep. So it makes sense that...
Yeah, I mean, if Christine had been like, yeah, I mean, you're pretty
Aren't
nomadic,
you a
aren't you?
proud Roma person?
Wouldn't it be about time to pack up and move to caravan?
Maybe get You wanna? How about you just get that RV out of my fucking fucking eyesight?
I still see, like, in my mind's eye, like when I think of gypsy caravan, even in modern days, I still picture like wagons, like circus wagons.
Right. No, when we're thinking of the British version of caravan, caravanning,
like an RV,
RVing. Just get yourself a little teardrop trailer and get it out of my sight.
Anyways, so yeah, it's the fact that she was shamed by Christine that she brings the curse of hell, which is just unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm working on a sneeze here. Oh, I'm trying to look in the light. Does that work for you?
No, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I thought you were seeing a spider or something.
No, if I look into a light, it'll draw the sneeze out of me.
Really?
Yeah, as long as I'm not talking, which you made me do, so thanks for nothing.
Hey,
you're wearing your Night Channel shirt, aren't you? Is that a Night Channel shirt?
No, this is actually from JCPenney.
Oh.
It's the Exorcist shirt. Okay, so Christine calls, then Miss Ganoush appears in her car. This is like
Wait. You're burying this. This moment is so great.
It's a great moment, yeah.
She's in this parking garage and she's like it's the creepiest, most deserted parking garage. Mm-hmm. And she's a cute little girl, so the threat is there, it's implied. And
the implication.
And she's walking to her car and she gets in and this scene is so perfect and it's the thing that I remember the movie for.
It's pretty great
because the handkerchief.
Yeah, the handkerchief. It's like the Forrest Gump feather
comes wafting up from a car behind her, and she's looking at it in her rear view mirror, and she follows it through the mirror, and it floats past her car. And it's a parking garage. There's no breeze. You're like, oh, this is weird. And this through line of this handkerchief signifying.
Handkerchief's going to do something. When it happens, it's going to be big.
It's going to be big. Don't turn your back on handkerchief. On Hank Kerchief. I love this. And then you wouldn't think that a handkerchief could get off like 4 solid jump scares on you. In a movie, especially, it's like the first one, you're like, fool me once. And then the second one, you're like, whoa! But damn, if that handkerchief didn't pull it off,
Yeah. And, she follows it around and then it like goes behind the car and she's following it through the back window. And then you see the outline of this woman inside her car in the back seat.
You just notice it as like a passing glance. It's like, oh, and there goes the handkerchief, and it's floating back behind oh my God, there's somebody in here with her.
And then this big fight ensues, and probably the best moment is when her teeth go flying, and then Miss Ganoush attacks Christine by gumming her chin, which is the most disturbing thing.
Which is another through line. Lots of callbacks in this.
Yeah, lots of like gumming of the chin or throwing up in her mouth or ripping her hair out, which is great.
Yeah,
it works.
It's super, super gross.
Ew.
It's one of those things like you see like, entrails getting ripped out and you're like yawning. I've seen this before.
Yeah.
You see,
an
like
old
people,
lady with no dentures gnawing on
seen
someone's
people
chin.
get decapitated, and you're like, all right, seen that before. I've never seen an old lady just go to town on someone's chin, and that is
David.
Super disturbing.
It's so upsetting. And it happens consistently, and sometimes with copious amounts of like decaying water,
like vomit or formaldehyde.
It's so great. I'm so blown away that this is PG-13 because. But it makes sense because it's like, oh, it's just water.
Yeah.
The spit. Who cares about spit? Have you seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? It's like, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Okay, so she starts getting like haunted or like getting tormented by these spirits. and she eventually makes her way to a fortune teller, like almost immediately.
It's true. It's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
I'd head to thebloomingwand.com. That's where I'd head.
She probably would have solved this right out.
Tell him Horror Movie Talk sent you to Emily. She's a sweetheart.
She would have been like, yeah, just give away the button.
Yeah, just give it away.
Just mail it to one of those televangelists.
There you go. Like, this is a gift to you. It's yours now.
Yeah, so I guess that's the one plot point is the old gypsy woman rips off a button and curses this button and then gives it back to Christine.
Button. Who's got the button?
The devil.
Ah!
So she finds out from this fortune teller that she's been cursed with this demon called Lamia, which is a black goat demon.
Who is used almost exclusively by the gypsies to do their bad bidding.
Mm-hmm. And that what's going to happen is she's going to have 3 days of like a really nasty spirit that torments her, and then it's going to show up and drag her literally to hell.
That's right.
Take her soul.
Let me ask you, if you're being critical of my criticality around the gypsies, what you have a culture, whoever you are, who I'm talking to right now. Do you have in that culture? Do you have a demon that you use to do your dirty work? Oh no, you. Well, the gypsies do. It's called Lamia.
Well, actually,
in this movie,
in the trivia,
okay,
you learn that Lamia is actually. I thought this was interesting because this is a callback from early Horror Movie Talk days.
Wow.
Lamia is actually a boogie woman from Greek mythology who stalks the countryside looking for children to devour. It's a story used.
Sounds like your mom.
It's a. I'm gonna tell her you said that.
Boogie woman. No, she won't. She loves me.
It was a story used to get young children into their beds at bedtime.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Remember? So I basically tapped into Lamia when I told my young son about the hallway monster, that if he comes out of his bedroom one more time, the hall monster is going to eat you.
Yeah, I told Charlotte
he
about
was terrified for the next 3 years.
I told Charlotte about the poop monster. I think we're still paying for that.
Yeah.
She's got a real thing about, she's like, I'm not normal in regards to poop.
It's great at that age where you're like, you can accidentally just terrify them, but they're also like, they want to say like, there's no such thing as the hallway monster though, right, Dad? Like, no, of course not. It was a thing that I told you to scare you. Yeah, there's no such thing.
Glass shark.
And then they give the side eye to the door like,
I'm on to you.
But what if?
Yeah. Glass shark. He's coming to get you, fat kid. Flap around. He'll buy you a snack.
He's in that deep water, that dark water. So yeah, that's the stakes that were given. What else? So Lamia in this movie is your generic demon goat boy.
Yeah.
And I don't have my goat boy sounds.
Oh, thank God. I hate those.
I should have.
Do you have any drops that I have that you're just like, ugh, get it? I'm so tired of it. Because goat boy is mine.
Really?
I hate it.
Well, I mean, you use American Psycho every episode, probably.
No, I don't.
Almost
the Davids.
David.
That's what I use.
That
every
one.
Episode.
I mean, basically, you have American Psycho and the Davids.
I mean, I do almost all the drops on this show, so I have almost all the drops. Why don't you tell me what I don't know?
Why don't you tell me what I don't drop?
That's right. Here's the Bats intro.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Ventura.
Sorry.
Poop again!
I will suck your dick. I will suck your fucking dick. I will do it. Just join my team.
Are we having a drops off?
Dick.
Maybe.
You can fuck me or get fucked by me. You can watch me fuck something. Just point something in the room and I'll fuck it for you. Come on, just tell me what you want me to fuck.
Jesus. What about the animal cargo?
Don't worry about it. It's just one little raccoon. If I were you, I'd turn back.
Yeah? Well, if you were me, then I'd be you. And I'd use your body to get to the top. You can't
you are.
Loser.
Oh, yeah, that's a parody on Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Remember Cliffhanger?
Deep cuts.
Did you think I'm retarded?
That's nonsense.
For those of you who are new to the show, this isn't how we normally do this. We're just having a...
Are you a great big fat person?
Nice tits, bitch.
Oh, wow, I like that one. Yeah, we're just having a drop.
I know,
drop
this is just fun.
Tickle your dickle. Now, let's see here. Oh, here.
Sounds like a tiger is coming. Oh my god, the tigers are chasing after me. Rah! Rah! Oh my god, there's a lot of tigers are after me now. Rah! Oh my god, there's more tigers after me. Rah!
Oh, Frankie.
Extreme close up.
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa! Excellent. Extreme close up.
Anyway.
This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Extremely cold air is headed towards Joy Heaven.
Heaven. So that's our.
This one.
Those are some of our drops.
No, that's not.
Embrace.
Get the fuck out!
Can we please?
This is an old one. The boys. We got to keep going for the boys.
The boys. Man, that was a terrible movie. That was the original, the first Spiral that we reviewed.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think there was another movie called Spiral at the same year that one came out.
There's a lot of movies called Spiral. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some big, some small.
Okay, what have
all
we?
Bad though.
Yeah.
All bad.
At some point, let's just talk about like the standout scenes. Like all the kind of gross out scenes are great in this movie. So she's like sleeping, and then there's kind of the through line of this random fly.
Just
and
can't get enough of her.
The fly crawls into her mouth. Is it her mouth or her nose?
So.
And I love that there's like a couple cartoon logic, like Looney Tunes logic things in this movie that are just so fantastic. One of them is that you can hear the fly flying around in her stomach. Like,
yeah.
Just like, what?
That's a super Raimi thing.
Yeah.
Super Raimi choice.
Right.
You wouldn't get that with hardly any other director.
Right.
It's like, it's like this comic book-ized version
right.
of things.
And then she like wakes up because she was dreaming about
her.
vomiting like insects, like cockroaches out and stuff.
Yeah.
Just lots of grossness. Apparently, Alison Lohman did the majority of her own stunts.
So maybe there's a reason why she retired after this movie.
Then the other one that's like a Looney Tunes moment is in the shed when like basically the ghost of Mrs. Ganoush attacks her and like shoves her arm all the way into her mouth.
Oh, yes.
And then Christine looks up and there's a fucking anvil suspended from the ceiling.
Yeah.
That's the most like Wile E. Coyote setup in the world.
Why?
There's absolutely no reason why you would just suspend an anvil.
Let's just put a 50-pound anvil hanging from the rafters.
Oh, it's so great. And then the payoff is she cuts the rope, it falls down, and then her eyes splurt out into her mouth. It's like just so much over-the-top stuff that it's like, chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's really, Raimi really gets the splatter. And how can you, this is a splatter film with none of the splatter.
Right. The most bloody it gets is the nosebleed, which is also another great scene.
I mean, that's just Evil Dead 2 all over again.
Her nose bleeds, and then just projectile bleeds all over the place into her boss's mouth, which has the best line in the whole movie.
Did
which
I
is,
get it in my mouth?
Did I get it in my mouth? It just says it like
in my mouth.
Calmly and twice.
Yeah.
It's like so realistic.
It's been shot from a high pressure cannon across the entire room, and he's like, did I get it in my mouth?
Like on the other side of the room, you'd see an outline of the boss.
Yeah. It's like Evil Dead 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remember, man, that's a formative scene for me, is when he shoots his hand in the wall, and then that little drip of blood comes dripping down.
Yeah.
And then the fire hose of blood.
Right. And then the other pretty extreme moment, just from conceptually, she learns that one of the ways that she could try to fend off, being dragged to hell, is to do an animal sacrifice. She's like, I'm a vegetarian, or I'm a vegan.
And then she's like,
here, kitty.
Hey, Frankie, you want to be sacrificed? Moo.
So she eventually just like, I'm going to kill my fucking cat.
Well, first, she's like, no, I couldn't do that. I'm a vegetarian. And the guy's like, you would be surprised what you'll do when your life is on the line, your soul is on the line,
right,
to be dragged to hell. And then very in short order, she's like, oh.
Here, kitty, kitty,
kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Great. She kills her cat, and then immediately the Mac guy comes along. He's like, hey, why do you...
The Mac guy. I get what you're saying now. Those commercials are
he's always, in my head, he's always going to be the Mac guy. Even though that's like 2002 or something like that.
In my head, he's the Tusk kid. He's the kid who gets turned into a walrus in Tusk. It's Justin Long, who's shockingly prolific.
He's like the pre-Michael Cera.
He was do you know his first role was Galaxy Quest?
That makes sense.
Isn't that crazy though? What a cool first role. That's like low-key the best movie ever. He's in Jeepers Creepers.
I love her line when he asks her like why she has blood on her. She's like, oh, I was just cutting tomatoes in the kitchen and got some tomato juice on my sleeve. Just like the most unconvincing excuse. All right. We're going to do this kind of quick. So I think we went through most of the stuff. So, I mean, it's just a series of this demon shadow tormenting her and getting haunted by this gypsy woman's ghost, but also trying to like take the curse off her. And the first attempt is to go back to the woman's house, and then she finds out she's dead, and then the corpse rolls on her and projectile vomits bodily fluids into her mouth.
It's interesting around every corner with this movie because you're interested in how it's going to get her, when it's going to come, but mostly how are you going to get rid of this curse? And it's just, there's no lull in any of this. This is the great part. It just keeps on going. It's like this nice, steady drip of good decisions by Raimi. It's just great. Fabulous.
Yeah. And then finally the second to last attempt is they get this, what do you call them? Mentalist? What do you call people that do like seances? Medium. They go to this medium that you see in the opening scene of the film, and she's like, I've been waiting to get revenge on this Lamia.
Yeah, this Lamia took Juan or Pedro from
Why is it a goat? Shouldn't it be a llama?
What?
Lamia?
Why don't you tell me what it should be?
It seems like a lost opportunity. Just an evil llama.
Oh, a Lamia, because llama.
Yeah.
I get it. No, the llama is not evil.
This one is.
Goats are evil. No, goats are evil.
Everyone knows sheep go to heaven.
And
goats go to hell.
Goats go to hell.
So they have this seance.
I have a beautiful voice.
You do. It's fantastic. And then there's a part where she has to get the Lamia to possess her, the medium, and then she's going to transfer it to this goat, which is another great part with the talking goat.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah. It's all special. It's all practical effects,
One of the trivia items is that actually the goat that they used was a puppet. I'm like, shit.
Oh, really? You mean the puppet was a puppet? Like, who do you take me for?
So that gets botched and Lamia gets off scot-free. And finally, the fortune teller's like, oh yeah, by the way, you could just give away this button to someone as long as it's not your ownership.
Some would say it's the hardest button to button.
And she was like, you didn't fucking tell me this first thing?
And he's like, well, but he's got a great response, which is, look, hey
man, just like, I would go to the State Department and be like, give me Saddam Hussein's address.
And they'd be like, no?
Just be like, listen, do you want this person to be disappeared?
Okay, wait. Bryce?
Give me the address to
This is an impromptu game.
Putin.
Here it is.
Okay, who would you give the button to?
Who would you give the button to in real life? A real person,
In
Bryce.
real life. It'd have to be a war criminal.
The hardest button to button.
I'd mail it to Putin.
But you have to give it to them.
You don't have to give it to him. She can mail it.
Putin's a good choice right now.
Putin's a pretty good choice.
I'm talking a personal person who you know.
Oh, a person? I would never do someone that I personally know. It's too hard.
Too personal.
Yeah.
You got nobody at work?
At work, no. There's like probably some people I've worked with before that I'd be like,
ooh, go on.
If I had
go on.
to.
Yeah.
If I had to.
Yeah.
There's this girl that was a manager at the check cashing store that was named Sarah, and she was awful. She was
Why? Tell me about Sarah.
She's just like power hungry and super micromanagey, even when
you were the boss's son.
The thing that you were doing was more efficient and better and more organized. And she's like, yeah, but we do it this way. Like, motherfucker. Like, to the point where, like, I can't remember. It was like one of the only people that I've worked with that I've yelled at.
Wow.
Just for being like completely unreasonable. I'm like, what the hell do you have against me? Like, it's just super passive aggressive.
So, but that was, you were working for your dad there, right?
I mean,
it was your dad's business.
It was my dad's business, but I mean, that was across like 50 stores or something like that. It's not like,
no. I'm not attacking. What I'm trying to glean here is like, how did that work out for her when she's fucking with dad's son, Papa Boss,
I don't know.
Your dad was just like, yeah, go ahead, kick his ass.
I'm not going to go to my dad and be like, Daddy, this girl is banging on me.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
No, I'm not going to. It's just like any other work relationship you have. You have people that are really shitty to work with, and you have people that are really nice to work with. And she was one of the shitty ones.
Yeah. I think I give it to Colin.
My son?
I mean, not right away.
Well, you have 3 days.
Well, before we started recording, he said, David, you need to go home. I was like, well, excuse me?
Fuck that kid.
He was like, no, you just need to... He was very adamant. When I was looking for the clipboard, he was like, you just need to go home. And I was like, what? He's like, you heard me. Go, get out.
See, this is like a low stakes It Follows premise, too, because it's like, I could just give it to you, and then you give it back,
Nah, I think it's like a chess timer, At some point, you run out of those 3 days.
Is it, though? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I give it to Colin. Tell me to go home. I'll show you what's up. And until the next person minorly slights me, and then I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
Which won't take long.
Okay, so her last attempt is to give this button, and then she finds a loophole where gypsies believe that, their spirit lives on. And so they actually leave like gifts on gravestones and stuff. And she goes back to Miss Gumia, what's her name? Ganoush. And shoves the button in her throat in this envelope. And then the last callback of the rotting corpse getting a handful of hair from her. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, get off, no!
And then the big oopsie doopsie at the end is that she mixed up the envelope, and it was actually her fiance's envelope with the coin in it and not the button. So
truly the hardest button to button.
She got dragged to hell, just like the movie title says.
Yep. And I love the aspect of this movie that's just like, look, shit just sucks sometimes. And sometimes shit just sucking is literally being dragged to hell.
Right.
And
I love in the end, though, because it's like, it's such a great psych out, because it feels like, okay, that actually happened. I mean, I guess if you saw what happened in the car, you're like, okay, well, that's going to come back. But it feels like it's really resolved because even she's like, you know what? I never told anyone, but I could have just given her the loan. And like, I feel bad about that.
Right.
And so she's like, even the one thing where you're like, well, you're kind of a bad person for putting an old lady out of her house for your own personal gain. Like, even that's resolved with the audience of like, yeah, all this stuff. It wasn't even about this thing, but I feel bad about this thing because I could have avoided all of it if I had just been a person. But I got my job, so it's all worked out.
We're good. We're good. Oh no, here comes hell.
And then, then the earth opens up. It's terrifying seeing the earth open up and swallow someone.
Yes, but somehow it manages to close itself back up, and then a train drives over it.
Mm-hmm. Well, some sinkholes do that.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they do, then they're very not scary. I'm not scared of sinkholes at all.
So
we have a lot of little feuds. We got the sinkhole versus earthquakes feud. We got the spears versus bats feud.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of feuds going on.
I'm playing Project Zomboid a lot, and I've been using my spear to great effect.
Oh,
it's
yeah?
pretty great.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying.
Oh.
It's got a real long range, and you can one-shot them very easily.
Cool.
Groups of them.
Yeah, it's almost like a made-up video game. It has a bunch of made-up rules about made-up bullshit.
Yeah, you know. So
but in reality, things work a different way. You know, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, sometimes
where you can't just
fiction is
where
more
you can't
realistic.
where you can't just throw skill points into a bar and be automatically good at something. You got to practice and try and sharpen and wield versus just picking up a bat.
Probably be better to have
swing away, Meryl.
Something that had more of a margin of error, like something that was very long and you could use from a distance.
We need something to break this fight up.
Okay, guys, we're going to do a guy being surrounded by wasps and dogs. A lot of wasps and dogs going. There's German shepherds and golden retrievers and Pomeranians. They're jumping on me. I better run.
Hi, Robert Englund here, a.k.a. Freddy fucking Krueger. And you're listening to Horror Movie Talk.
Wow, we don't use that enough.
Yeah, in case you forgot. So yeah, that was Drag Me to Hell.
It's true.
It's great. Go see it if you haven't.
Definitely. This is one you cannot miss. If you have not seen Drag Me to Hell, boy, you're in for a real treat. This is a fabulous movie.
And just real fun.
Yeah.
Even if you've seen it before, if it's been a long time, rewatch it because it still holds up really good. Let's move on to taglines. Nothing but taglines. Here they come.
Into your ear holes.
Okay. I thought I had more than that.
How many do you have?
3.
Oh.
How many do you have?
I think I also have 3. Let's see.
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
I have 3.
Drag Me to Hell. Hot girl on girl action.
Okay. You know, Bryce, last night, so taglines, by the way, is a little bit that we do where we come up with alternate taglines, jokes, or
sure, yeah,
et cetera about the movie. Just
Yeah.
FYI. Plenty of people haven't heard it yet.
We don't, yeah.
So anyway, before I get into this, my wife last night, she kissed me after eating a booger. And you might think it's funny, but it's not. It's not.
Oh, is this just another one of the things where you find terrible jokes?
I made that up.
All those taglines.
Why don't you tell me what I did? I made it up.
Why don't you tell me what jokes I don't write? Drag Me to Hell. I believe the correct term is Romany curse.
Yeah. Also, earlier this week, I was approached by a gypsy. Actually, it was this morning. And she was dirty, smelly, ugly, and wart-ridden. And she lives in a flea-infested caravan. Probably gets hit by her dad and brothers. And then she tried to sell me heather to bring me good luck. You get it? Because she has such bad luck.
Yes.
But she's trying to sell me this heather.
Really rolls off the tongue as a tagline. I appreciate it.
Well, why don't you tell me what a good tagline is?
Drag Me to Hell. Hygiene so bad even the dentures are rotten.
Okay, yeah. Well, how'd that work out for you? Oh, what do you know? You weren't there.
You tell me what doesn't work.
You weren't there. Hey, you know what we need to do? We need to thank our patrons because we haven't done that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get them on the show here. What are you looking up there? What are you doing?
I'm getting the voicemail up.
Oh, we got voicemail coming? Well, before we do that, let me say thank you to the following new patrons. Thank you, Darren M., Caitlin A., who I think I know personally, Joseph H., JB 1982, Will M., Jeff C., Zachary A., Aaron L., our very own Dustin Goebel, who has been drawing for us for ages, finally became a patron.
Nice.
Alex P., Consta H., Amanda S., Stephen M., George T., Colette S., Chris L., let me see here, how far back. Wow, Jesus. Nathan C., wow, there's a lot of you people. Adam B., Ben O., Adam, the other Adam B., 2 Adam B's. God damn, there's a lot of you people. Wait, is this? Oh, okay. Okay, and that's it.
Sweet. Thank you so much. We wouldn't be able to do it without you.
Dude, for real, that's a lot of fucking people. You guys are going out of your way here. We really appreciate it. But, of course, they're getting tons of excellent content that we're providing over there on Patreon.
Right.
Patreon. Right. Why don't you tell me what they're
There's my Lorne Michaels.
What they're getting on Patreon.
Right. Now we'll check our voicemail with a bit we call Horror Movie Whores. All right. It's been a couple of weeks since we played these, so let's check out what you got to say.
Hey, this is Dr. Romance here, calling from Loveland, calling to celebrate Valentine's Day for you with a story about love and passion that I have. There was one time on Valentine's Day, I was getting into it with one of these hotties over here in Loveland, and I made the mistake of putting out red rose petals all over the floor and on the bed in the shape of a little heart, and we ended up making crazy love like animals and just bucking and bucking and bucking until we were done, and then it was the sex was done. And this was at the time when I was living with my mom. I still do. She came into my bedroom and she saw all the stains from the red rose petals, and she thought I just deflowered a virgin. That's Dr. Love for you, baby.
What the fuck? Like, I'm surprised you let that go on for as long as you did.
That
was unintelligible.
Really? I could hear all of it.
I couldn't make out what he was saying.
He was...
I don't want to know.
Okay, yeah.
These people.
Moving on.
Give them the time of day.
Hi, this is Sam from Indianapolis. If I may be so bold as to get a little real with you guys for a minute. I myself am a high-functioning autistic person, and I think the way you guys handled it, kind of addressing your previous statements, whatever, was perfectly fine. You guys shouldn't kind of beat yourself up over second-guessing how you dealt with it, because it's clear to anybody that listened. You guys come from a good-hearted place. It's not, malicious in any sort of intent, and I feel like in this day and age, everybody's so worried about how they own up to sins of the past that we're all just giving ourselves high blood pressure for that. So, with that said, I was offended by the stink of retarded on my opinion of Night House, because Night House is terrible. I'm just going to say it again. Bye!
Sam from Indian Apple Tits.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I mean, a little bit of it is.
I'm glad it came off as us being concerned.
Right.
I got lunch in me. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sam, for calling and validating us.
Sam calls in a lot. He's got some hot takes.
You're wrong about Night House, though. Sorry about
Yeah,
it.
you're wrong.
What's up, you pair of dipshits? Apparently the first time my voicemail didn't get through, so I'm gonna just... Sorry, taking a shit. Kyle from Baltimore. Since you didn't know since you passed me over the first time, but just calling to say I love you guys, and I hate you guys. You're two giant fucking retards, pieces of shit, but I love giant retarded pieces of shit like you, so keep up the good work, and if this voicemail don't make it, well, I'm gonna keep calling, and next time I'm just gonna fucking do it when I'm puking, so we'll keep trying on, you fucking idiots. Fuck you.
Wow. I hope you get that evil out of you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time we did voicemails, we had like a 2-month backup.
Yeah, we were all backed
So we
up.
had to make some calls about what you just didn't make the cut.
It was
sorry, man.
Bryce was pulling that trigger, by the way.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with me. I will say this. I will ask this. What's it like on The Wire? You know, what is that like? Have you seen that show?
Yes. I told you to watch it. You haven't seen all the show.
No, I haven't seen any. I've seen like maybe the first. I'm considering starting it.
It's a great show. Yeah. One of the best shows ever. It's probably like...
How's it rank compared to The Sopranos?
Right up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right up there.
Right up there. I mean, I'd probably rank Sopranos higher, but it's right there. It's like, you know, the turning point for like HBO original content that's just like, this is infinitely rewatchable and crazy high quality for TV. I think like first was probably was Oz, and I still haven't watched that one, and then The Wire. And it feels a little dated now, like especially the first couple episodes. You're like,
it's a little slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really hit its stride until like towards the end of the first season, where you're like, it's like a slow boil. You start getting invested in these characters, and you're like, huh, that's interesting. And then by the second season, you're like, where are all these characters that I knew and loved? And you kind of, it moves on to another story, but it still gives you little glimpses. And then everything like ties back into each other in the following season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's based on basically this cop's real life work.
Wow.
It's very like meticulous in, you know, as far as like a cop, because you expect like, okay, here's another procedural cop show.
Yeah.
Like another one of
CSI.
25 that are on every night. And it's not that. It's like, it's a procedural show to the point of like minutia that you're like, huh, that's not just like solving a mystery. It's literally like doing police work.
Whoa, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I have 151 confirmed kills in the swamps of Da Nang.
Vietnam War never started.
What?
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 Hey, it's CJ from Massachusetts. So listen, Bryce, the Babadook, it's utter garbage. It's trash. I don't understand what you like about it.
Yeah.
It was an extreme disappointment, and it's horrible. Anyways, yeah.
Well, I guess you just hate women.
Whoa! Wow. Casting some shade on you, CJ. I'm sure it's not the first time. What are you, in Massachusetts?
No, I mean, Babadook is probably among the most divisive movies we've rated. There's a couple that I can think of. Like, Babadook is like, you either love it or hate it. There's no one like middle of the road with Babadook. Same thing with Event Horizon.
I agree with CJ. Babadook is garbage.
And
Event Horizon is garbage too, though.
Event Horizon is garbage. People love it. We just did 13 Ghosts.
Oof. Dude, that's the least redeemable one of all of them. It's just like, what could anybody possibly see in this? And the answer is just Matthew Lillard?
No, the first thing people always say is like, I love all the backstories of the ghosts.
Like,
the thing that's not in the fucking movie?
The part that's not in the movie at all? That's not in the movie at all. They're not even real tits. I'm so bent out of shape.
Nice tits, bitch.
Not really.
So, CJ, you have every right to be wrong with David. Oh, again with the...
0 out of 10 for the Babadook. Worse than a miserable dredge.
Yeah, true. Thank you, caller.
Well.
Thank you.
All right, that's Horror Movie Whores, and that's our show.
Whee!
Thank you so much for listening. What are all the things that we need to tell them? Our website is horrormovietalk.com. There you'll find all links to our social media. Check out our Facebook group for the podcast. You're going to meet and converse with lots of other listeners that are a great group of horror fans. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go to horrormovietalk.com and click on the Amazon link in the top of the homepage, and we'll get a little taste of that. Again, what again? Again.
Y'all, we have one of the best communities ever on Facebook. You head on over to our Facebook group and join up, and we'll have a great time over there.
We're also on Twitch. We got streaming movies on streamlounge.io every second Saturday, so check us out there. And, of course, come to the Kiggins every fourth Friday for the next 4 months, and you'll see us, and we'll put on a show for you.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And also, as always, make sure to catch our second Saturday watch parties. If you're on the East Coast, you can still watch a movie with us every second Saturday of the month on streamlounge.io.
I just said that.
We'll be... okay. Well, there you go.
All right. Bye-bye.
You tried parallel parking in a burqa, David?
Looking for a podcast full of burps and gas, perverted cast, skinny and fat? Look no further. Horror Movie Talk is accidentally funny, begs to donate money, fake sponsors for dummies, and so much more. New episodes every hump day. They'll pickle your dickle for foreplay. Patreon members have it your way. Vote for a movie every month for the review. Choppa choppa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone, hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids, swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Drain addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner rum. Kiss, Bryce Hansen. Look at them hot kids, Chris Henson. Masturbate with a crucifix, exorcist. Face huggers, chest bursters, alien. Linda Blair peed on Sigourney Weaver. I know it's true cause it came from social media. Patrick Bateman can't understand you. Stab you to death for rotten apple reviews. Opinionated podcaster with a doctorate. Spookology, doctor of philosophy. Bad gastritis, need colostomy. Turn Patreons into human centipedes. David Doobie Day, scare no expert. And global fucks hard, professional sexpert. Afterpods, taglines, and porno flicks. American Psycho, them guys pretty sick. Choppa choppa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone, hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids, swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Drain addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner rum. Nothing good happens in the woods. Always get more than you bargained for. Got a pickle to dickle, machines tickle biddies. Killer on the phone, ain't no Sharon Stone. Vancouver, Portland, Oregon, and organs. Corona, COVID, curse, Lorona. Green River Killer, because reasons. Hallway of poop monster kids screaming. Ain't your ordinary dingleberry itinerary. 30 days shutter and jump scares, they fucking scary. Time for the spoilers with jokes and tropes. Use their white socks to catch their loads. To show them one titty, pretty. Paganism you should worship, they Teflon dicks. Pacific Northwest.
HMT, horror movie talk. Hold on, they don't like Halloween. Fuck them.